method of the better way of shining shoes for a little while now, but finally gotten around to do it. Stop bouncing around football, ROTC, and women. Funny enough. But right here I've laid out all the things you should need for shining your shoes. First thing, most important, is shoe polish. Start off with a standard can of Kiwi shoe polish. Then you'll also need a Kiwi parade gloss, as well as a cotton ball. Those are the essential things that you'll need, including the shoe. Now, I also have out a spray bottle for water application. I also have a brush. When you do this method, it should make your shoes as shiny as this mirror. So, let's get started. First off, you want to clean the shoe up, make sure there's no dirt and grime. To show you how well this method works, I'm starting the shoe. I have not shined in over a month. You can see the dirt and stuff built up. It's already got a bit of a shine, but that's because I take good care of my shoes, especially during inspection. So first, take your brush, and you're just going to go over it, gently get off all the dirt and grime. It shouldn't take but a few minutes. Or a few seconds, sorry. Now, you might have some little spots on there you can see right there. To get rid of those, we're going to get a cotton ball, get our water source, and we're just going to basically wash it off. Once your shoe is good and clean, no dirt or grime left on it, now we'll get started. First things first, I recommend always having trimmed fingernails when you start. As you can see, mine are that way, so you can avoid scratching your polish and ruining any work you put into it so far. So first, we're going to get ourselves a cotton ball. Make sure there's no loose fibers or anything. And get a little bit of water, so about one spray. Just enough to soak the polish up. Start off with our base coat of standard Kiwi polish. Now take your water and get the polish on your cotton ball. You want a fair amount of polish because this is your base coat. When I do my shoes, I break them down into sections. I break them down to the toe and the sides. This way, you're not wasting a bunch of polish trying to do your whole shoe. This is so it works out and saves time. So now that you have a good amount of polish on your shoe, first you're just going to start working it in. You're not going to press too hard, just get enough to kind of work the polish into the leather. So probably about a good 2 to 4 pounds of pressure on the shoe. This way you start getting the polish worked into the pores of the leather, and that way when you apply the water, it'll start washing off the polish and it'll start giving it a shine. Now, parade gloss, I should advise you, do not just use parade gloss alone, because the oils in it are good for making a already shiny shoe very shiny, but if you do not use a base coat first, then your shoe will not even shine at all. And in some cases I've seen it to where shoes will get completely messed up because they do not use Kiwi polish at all. Now you'll notice at first it's kind of easy to move your cotton ball around, and it starts to get a little harder and a lot more resistance. At this point you want to let the leather dry a little bit, so just blow a bit of air onto it so that way it dries up a bit faster. So I'll do that now. Because you don't want to just straight apply the water right afterwards, thereby defeating the whole purpose of even applying the shoe polish. Next, we'll take our spray bottle, and you do about 1 to 2 swipes across it. And of course, mine's set on the wrong setting. You just want to find mist so that way it does not get over watered and you don't use too much water. A lot of people like to go along the myth of, oh, hot water works best or cold water works best. I say any water will do fine. Now, you still use the same cotton ball you've been using. Just start rubbing again in small circles. You will not be pressing as hard this time because you do not want to work the polish completely out. You want to shine it. So you just start going around in little circles. This is also a good time, if you want to, just put on a bit of music so that way you don't get bored. It's a good way to relax, I find. Just keep doing your little circles. Make little patterns, have some fun. You can see it's already getting a little shiny. That's just a few minutes of work so far, guys. Every once in a while you need to add a little bit more water. Yeah, excuse me for the cold, I'm a little bit sick right now. It's getting into the cold season now. Just keep going in little circles for a while. As you can see, it's already starting to get pretty shiny. But that ain't quite the mirror finish yet. So, keep working on it. Now, if you do not own parade gloss, this method, if you just keep working and put a bit of elbow grease into it, it'll work just fine. But, personally, I like really shiny shoes, so I use parade gloss, especially seeing as I have a drill meet coming up this Saturday, so I need to have it really shiny for an inspection there. You also have to be careful not to rub your fingers along the polish, or else you'll just ruin a bunch of work you just did. You also have to be careful not to get too much water, or you'll be sitting here rubbing for hours trying to get rid of all the water. So that's why I recommend the spray bottle, as it gives you a little mist so you're not getting too much water, and you're not getting not enough water. Okay, so as you see, that works very nicely. You can even see my computer screen in this. You see the light I bring in? Still got a little water on it, but that's okay for now. We're about to move on to parade gloss. So you want to give this a second or two to dry, and during that time, I'm going to start cleaning off my other shoe. As you can see, it's a little dirty as well. Now, like I said, both of these shoes have not been shined in over a month now, and looking as good as I do is pretty nice, because it saves me a lot of time when I have to work with my platoon and all that for ROTC. Back to our little cleaning cotton ball. Get a little water on it. Buff out the spots. In this video, I will not cut out anything as to give you full evidence that this is a guaranteed method. I'm just grabbing another cotton ball that's dry to dry off all this water on the shoe. Now, this method also works for boots as well. I do not personally own a pair, but I've recommended it to all my friends, taught my friends how to do it, and they have become forever in my debt for that case. Okay. Now we'll close up our regular polish for a little bit till we go into our next shoe. If I can get it closed. Now we'll move on to the parade gloss. Whoops. Accidents happen. But we're using parade gloss now. Now this is a little more creamy, so it'll take a bit harder to get enough polish on the cotton ball. But you have to be careful not to get too much, but you have to make sure you get enough. So once again, get a cotton ball, make sure there's not too much loose fiber hanging off. Get your spray bottle, give it a little spray so it has a little bit of moisture on it to pick up the polish. Just start working into your parade gloss can. See, got a good amount on it now. It's got a lot more oil in it than the regular polish does, so it gets on your cotton ball a little bit easier. Now, same methods we used for the standard QB polish. Little circles all the way around. On the can, if you do look, it does say that you can just buff it to a shine, but also it recommends, if you want an even higher shine, to add water, which in this method we will add water. Same thing applies. Once it gets a little harder to move the cotton ball along, you'll feel there's a little bit of resistance. That's when you know it's your time to stop for a second, let it dry, and then you'll apply some water. Now you can kind of just feel a little bit of resistance there. It's not quite as easy. Now I'm just going to give it a gentle breeze to blow it and keep it dry. As we did with the standard polish, again, use our spray bottle and just go over it. A couple of quick swipes to get a little bit of water on there, but not too much. And small circles once again. And when I get finished with this whole thing, I will be doing the whole shoes. But if you have any trouble, send me a message in the comments, or send me a private message, and I will respond and help you the best I can. If there's any part unclear, just leave it in the comments, and I'll try and clarify. Now, you can see you've been working for a little bit, add a little bit more water. I also recommend getting the super jumbo cotton balls, that way you're not getting polish over your fingers and hitting your shoes constantly. So, it's just personal preference, to be honest. Also, going back to the whole hot water versus cold water debate, really, once you use hot water and take it out of the tap, it'll become cold in a few minutes anyway, so there's no real point in using hot water over cold water. Just use room temperature water. There. Make sure you have a hand in there to kind of push resistance up against the leather so you can work it in and shine it up. Now, like many of you who stumbled on my video, I went across literally thousands of videos to try and find the best one. The method I'm showing you today is none of those at all. This is a method I've custom developed from bits and pieces that work the best. It's from quite a year or two of trial and error, so this is time tested and it's worked the best. Because I have the best shoes in my unit, and these are not core frames, so that's even good to say because my shoes are better than my naval science instructor who wears core frames, and he'll sometimes question whether or not I'm wearing regular dress shoes or patent leather. Now you can see it's starting to get a little shiny. It's got little streaks from it from the polish, but that means you need to keep working it in. So, keep circling. Feel free at any point, if you just see repetition, just to fast forward a little bit until you get to a point where you understand and can move on. Feel free to just kick on some music if you want and just watch. Because I will be doing the whole shoe. Unlike other videos, I've only done toes just for time's sake. But the toe is the easiest bit to shine, and it shines the best. But it is worth the effort to put in the extra time on the sides, because if you have a dull side and a shiny toe, people are going to kind of look at you funny. Trust me, it's awkward. And once you start to see a good shine on it, start varying up your movements to try and get rid of the streaks. Do horizontal and vertical strokes across it. They'll help doing it. And this is what I like to do, is just a little horseshoe shape. This helps to eliminate those little streaks from your cotton ball. And just keep circling and varying it up in those little patterns to help get rid of those streaks and increase the shine to its maximum potential. Now, this method should last you about a month to more, depending on how well you treat shoes. And if it does, it shouldn't take you that long. As you can see, it's only taking me a few minutes to do this so far. But for maintaining it, all you really need to do is just do continuous coats of parade gloss to make sure it stays shiny. So you don't always have to reapply the base coat of standard kiwi shoe polish. Sorry. It's a long day so far. Just a reminder, when you are doing the final shine, you don't have to press as hard as you were when you're applying the polish, or else it'll just kind of wear the shine off. Now, you also need to be wary not to go too long when you're shining your shoes, or else you will rub the shine off. Just a forewarning there. Now, this is pretty much almost done. And to give you a little comparison, get my light over here. They really are about equal. You can see some glare off both of them, and frankly, sorry, I can read a text off these shoes if I'm trying or need to. Stupid elementary projects. Now, back to my other shoe. As you can see, this is a little comparison of quite a difference there. This old shoe right here, it's got a little shine to it, but nowhere near what this one has. It's a lot clearer, and you can see there's no scratches or dents or anything in it. One thing you also need to do is, you do have inspections of sort, you can see all sorts of dirt and grime in here. You need to take polish, or if you have it, edge dressing dye in those creases to help clean out the dirt. Okay. Once you use a cotton ball, you use it once per coat. just throw them away in your handy-dandy trash can. Okay, now we'll do the side. Start fresh with a new cotton ball. Clean up your loose edges. Get a little water. Careful not spraying your shoe. Open the can up. And get some more polish. Just a word of advice, make sure every time you shine your shoes, you always close the can, or else you will dry your polish out like I have to mine, and it'll crack up and it'll be a pain in the butt to get polish out. So, always close your can, guys. Okay, we got ourselves a little polish on it now. Let's start on the side. Same method as before, just little circles. And make sure, if you're only doing it, say, clockwise or counterclockwise, reverse it to go the other direction, so that way it works to polish it all the way, and you're not running into issues where if you kind of scuff it, it'll make a really bad mark, but if you do it both ways, it's not quite as bad. Now I'm reaching that point where it's getting hard to move it, so we're just going to give it a little blow from our mouth and just dry the polish out. Alright, now, same as before, just a little bit of water. Take our same cotton ball we used for the coat, and back to little circles. Now, if I can acquire the hardware, at some point I will start uploading videos on exhibition and step-by-step walkthroughs on how to do particular moves. For example, like the Hawaiian Punch, all sorts of stuff, Statue of Liberty, Egyptian port spins, continuous one-handed spin, the butterfly spin, all sorts of little tricks I picked up from a few years. And you can see, even with just the standard kiwi, it's getting a little shine on it now. So, just keep working on it. This takes a bit of patience. I mean, one advantage to this method is it's good for those last-minute procrastinators like me who forget to do it for the whole week and then realize, oh no, I have inspection tomorrow morning and I need to get my shoe shined. So, if you're a last-minute guy like me, you'll be safe in this situation. So please remember, just like or comment on the video, and if you have any other friends you think this might help, definitely refer them to my video, because almost every person who's watching my video has always left a comment saying, dude, I love you now, this is like works so awesome. But so please leave a comment, rating, or like, so keep on working at it. Now, for a base coat, that's pretty shiny. It's got a good gloss to it, but a little bit of gloss isn't always good enough. You want to have a perfect mirror shine. So, get yourself a new cotton ball, and we'll move on to the parade gloss. Get a bit of water on a cotton ball, and on myself in this case. Now we got ourselves a bit of polish on it. Commence with the circling. That's also, you need to make sure you blend in these two areas so that way you don't encounter like a shiny little dull spot and then shiny again, because that can also be a little embarrassing when your inspector looks down at your shoes and questions that. The other way, if you can't really tell by how stiff your polish gets, other way to tell when to add water is if you see a little bit of shine coming out of the dark polish. That's also a good indicator of when to add water. So I'm starting to encounter that, so I'm on water now. If you notice, I always do a cross motion when I spray the water. That is because my particular spray bottle, after the end of the mist, it kind of lets out a big water droplets, so I don't want those because it overloads and you get too much water and your shoes just don't work quite right. So you got to be careful of that as well. But the effort is worth the reward. Don't want to sit here repeating the same thing over and over again for 30 minutes now. So just finish up on this side and we'll move on to the next side. Same reverse directions here. To avoid this being an hour-long video, I'm only going to do this one shoe, so you also have one, a comparison, and two, I don't want to have you guys sitting here wasting an hour away just watching shoes be shined. So once you feel you've gotten the technique, you feel free to click off the video, but please definitely do leave it a like and a rating. I'm starting to reach the high gloss point where it's becoming a mirror finish, so just keep doing your circles so you get those little streaks out. You can kind of make your circles a little bigger to help get those circles out, but otherwise just keep circling. At this point you can start doing horizontal streaks to try and help take them out, and then do a little vertical, and then more circling. Also, if you have brand new shoes, make sure you do about 2 to 3 layers of the base coat so you actually have a decent base coat to work with, and it'll just in general make things a lot easier. Add a little bit more water because I don't need too much. I'm just gonna spray a little bit on my cotton ball so I don't get too much water. And please do watch this in the highest definition possible, so that way you can get the best effects out of the visuals I will present, such as comparing the shoes. Okay. This side is now finished. So you can see it's got a very high gloss. You can even see the computer recording, and it is definitely comparable to a mirror. And I keep hitting that same little project I built in like the 5th grade, so sorry about that, guys. I'm setting it over here now so I don't hit it. Okay, let's just do a quick comparison of the sides so you can get a good judgment of this. So this is the unshined one, and this is your shine one. It looks literally like a mirror. Okay, moving on to the next side. Old cotton balls in the trash, cover with polish. I feel cover. This is very stubborn sometimes, guys. Now, if you don't have access to a spray bottle, another method that works really well is just get a bit of water in your lid and just do a quick dip so you don't get too much water in it and you don't soak the cotton ball with you. You want just a little bit of water to work the polish with. Ooh. Yeah, I really need to get some new polish, guys. Definitely make sure you're not using old caked up polish, but it's all I got right now, so I have to deal with that, unfortunately. Ooh, gonna clean that up before I make more of a mess on my desk and my mom gets mad. Yeah, let us continue. It's gonna be a little awkward at the angles, but anything for the viewers. I'll also show you how to edge dress the shoe. It's a mess. If you have any questions or comments or challenges to my method, please feel free to leave a comment and we can talk about it and discuss and solve any issues or help you problems or even develop a better method. So I'm always willing to try new ideas. This camera. Yes, I do support the Marine Corps. Need to patrol my droppings. If you don't have a desk or anything like this, you don't mind getting a little bit of polish on, make sure you use some newspaper to catch all this stuff and don't make a mess. Especially if you have parents that are like clean freaks. But I'm back to circling. Almost there. Okay, now that we got our base coat on, it's already pretty shiny, but not quite as smooth and clean as the parade gloss will make it. We'll get started on our next side, or next coat. My bad. See, super jumbo cotton balls. The best thing since sliced bread and peanut butter. Just put this out there, but the hardest part about setting up for this video, guys, was definitely getting the lighting right. Had to get about 2 or 3 lamps to get this thing to come in the right lighting. I'll show you my setup in a few minutes when I get done with this. Okay, at the sticking point, time to add a bit of water. I'm really sorry about the cold, guys, but not much I can do about it. Just take some Mucinex and hope it gets better. Slightly weird angle to work at, but yeah, a little water. If you have any annoying pets that'll disturb you, just feel free to spray them with some water. It'll usually get rid of them pretty quickly. Harmless and a good deterrent, especially cats. You can see it's starting to look nice, but it's not done yet. Okay, and there we go. One shoe shined to a high mirror gloss. This comparison, you be the judge. Do it for yourself and see the results. So, big difference between all these. If I can get you a good angle there. Okay, now I have to go run and get a supply, 2 little supplies real quick so I can show you how to edge dress your shoes and get the gunk out of your shoes. First thing you'll need is a die for edge dressing. Second thing is Q-tips for the hard things to reach. Now, take our shoe here and unscrew our edge dress. And you can see it's got a handy little applicator for the sides. So you can see there, not the darkest, but here you apply the dye, and it instantly darkens. Be sure to do this in a ventilated area so that way you do not get yourself potentially intoxicated on the fumes, but make sure you do this because it makes your shoes look very nice. As you can see, dark to crappy. So keep going all the way around the shoe and finish. Now your shoes blend and look very nice. But that's not all you need to do. You also need to take a Q-tip, like I said, get in those seams and make sure they're free of all dirt and debris. So take our Q-tip, take our edge dressing, and just dip it in. You see, we got it on our Q-tip now, and just go through the seams. It's not a big deal if you get it on the little bits of your shoe, but try not to get all over your shoe. Just run out a little bit, just get a little more. Okay. And there you have it. Edge dressing your shoe. Now, you look very nice in the seams. There's no little dirt and grime that makes it look bad. And your shoes look amazing. So, appreciate you for staying this long. And future videos I'll have coming up. I'll most likely have exhibition and other videos. So, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, like, rate, and comment the video. Thanks for staying.